Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Still Swinging Podcast. And once again, I'm your host, Thomas. And today, we headed to California, where your boy Lord Durk just got indicted for conspiracy to commit murder against Quando Rondo and the retaliation for what happened to King Von. So without further ado, let's get into the clip. And we get back to the commentary.
A popular rap artist is behind bars after a shocking arrest, as authorities accuse him of being connected to an alleged murder-for-hire plot. Chicago rapper Durk Banks, better known by his stage name Lil Durk, was arrested yesterday after allegedly attempting to flee the country, and at this time he's being held in a Broward County jail in Florida, awaiting transfer to the U.S. Marshals. According to the FBI affidavit, the Grammy Award-winning rapper is charged with conspiracy to commit murder for hire. His arrest comes on the same day as federal prosecutors announced in California the charges of 5 other men for the attempted murder of Georgia rapper Quando Rondo, whose real name is Taquayan Bowman. Prosecutors say those 5 men all have ties to Chicago gangs and all targeted the Georgia rapper in retaliation for the murder of Chicago rapper King Von. According to prosecutors, all 5 men, who include Kevon London Grant, a.k.a. Vonnie, Asa Houston, a.k.a. Boogie, David Brian Lindsay, a.k.a. Brown Eyes, Keith Jones, a.k.a. Flocka, and DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, a.k.a. Didi. They all face charges, including conspiracy to commit murder for hire.
Real quick, family. You see who indicted him? The federal government. You know how long ago this happened? That attempt was made on Quando Rondo when his friend got killed in California. You know how long ago that happened? The feds is never in a rush. What was that, 3 years ago? Maybe almost 4?
Murder for hire involving death, and use of a machine gun in a violent crime resulting in death, and the most serious charge carries up to the death penalty if convicted. According to prosecutors, all 5 men have ties to Lil Durk's hip-hop group Only the Family, also known as OTF. OTF was founded by Lil Durk more than a decade ago. And according to the FBI, OTF members engage in violence, including murder and assault, at the direction of Lil Durk and to maintain their status in OTF. King Von, whose real name was Davon Bennett, was also a part of OTF and frequently collaborated with and was along.
Understand, family? They not talking about a record label. They talking about a gang. OTF is a gang, and Little Durk is the leader. You understand where I'm coming from? You see how they shaping this up? All right? This man had the world at his fingertips, but what he wanted to be, just keep listening. This is what he wanted to be.
King Von was shot and killed in November of 2020 outside a nightclub in Atlanta. He was killed in the early morning hours of November 6th during an argument between 2 groups that escalated into gunfire. And he was fatally shot by Quando's associate Lil Tim after the argument. The indictment doesn't name Davon Bennett, a.k.a. King Von. Instead, the charging documents state a high-ranking OTF member described by the initials DB got into a physical altercation with someone referred to as TB, and the circumstances surrounding that incident mirror King Von's murder.
We already know TB is Top Boy. All right, and Quando Rondo was a member of Top Boy. All right, look, it ain't that hard to figure out.
The indictment says after DB's death, co-conspirator 1 made clear in coded language that they would pay a bounty or monetary reward to anyone who took part in killing TB for his role in DB's murder. That co-conspirator is allegedly Lil Durk, who authorities say made it known he would pay a bounty to anyone who killed Quando Rondo. According to the court documents, the men used an OTF-associated credit card to buy plane tickets to LA in August of 2022 to search for TB, who is allegedly Quando Rondo, and using funds provided by Lil Durk. Durk allegedly texted an associate arranging the flight, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me," And prosecutors claim when there, Kevon Grant booked a hotel room for the men to stay at and provided the others with firearms. Grant allegedly procured cars, ski masks, and firearms that were used to find, track, and kill TB. According to the FBI, there is video evidence that Durk was staying at the house in the San Fernando Valley that day. A lot of the stories that we cover here.
Let me explain something to you, family. Maybe you think they did some sophisticated hard work and some hellified detective work to find out all the intricate details, even the minute details of what we just heard right there. That's not what happened. Somebody told them. The only way that they found out all of that information right there, only someone who was there could have given up that kind of information. All right? I don't care how smart their most sophisticated equipment was. They couldn't have came to all of them answers without the help of somebody who was involved. Like I told you how it usually go. One of those guys who was supposed to have been a shooter, he got caught up in something that ain't have nothing to do with nothing. I bet you. And he knew one thing he had in the hole. If he ever got caught up in something, that would get him out of it. Because they would take Lord Durk. One of those guys got caught up in something that didn't have nothing to do with that. And this was his way of getting out of it. That's how they know so much. Bro, they know everything. This how it usually work out, family. This how it's usually gonna work out. If you think Durk got a chance, you see how long they took to come and get Durk. They made sure they crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's. When they arrested Durk, the case was over. They was not gonna arrest Durk until they was 100% sure they had everything they needed to convict them of whatever they was gonna charge him with. Durk is never gonna get back out of jail. All right? Now, listen, if he get back out of jail, the last thing he'll be able to do is still spit a bar. Okay? He about to have a bunch of lawyers rob him for his money, and he's still going to go to the penitentiary for the next forever. All right? This what happened when you jump on top of the game with no guidance, no sense, and can't nobody tell you nothing. This what knowing everything gets you. You ain't gonna ever hide behind your money when you my complexion. Ever. Because you got money and no power. You know what that mean? That means you got a whole bunch of access and a whole bunch of responsibility for the things that you have access to. Still swinging out.